Hi, I'm Chef Seth. I'm the culinary director at Peach Dish. We provide local and sustainably sourced ingredients in exactly the right amount, shipped to your door for a convenient home-cooked meal. Today we're going to be cooking our herb chicken breast with Springer Mountain Farms chicken, Pearl Barley, spicy greens, and fresh pecans. So it's going to come to your door in a box just like this. You could also just shop these ingredients if you like, but the convenience of Peach Dish is that you get everything from a really great source and exactly the right amount. So here we have the bag with all the ingredients. We're going to get everything unpacked and we're going to start cooking. Okay, so we've got all our ingredients unpacked, and the first thing we're going to do is cook our barley. So I've got our pre-measured Pearl Barley, a little bit of Peach Dish salt. It's so convenient having all the ingredients in that exact right amount. Just a 1/4 teaspoon of the Peach Dish salt. It's a 1 teaspoon measure in the bag, so I'm going to use a 1/4 of it. We're going to get it going over high heat, establish a boil, and then turn it down very low, cover it, and let it simmer. The reason you want to boil first and then put it at a simmer is it gives you a nice, you know exactly that the cooking time is going to work. You bring everything up to full temperature and then dial it back to the exact temp that you want. So while we're waiting for the barley to come up to a boil, we're going to go ahead and prep our mise en place. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do prepping our mise is picking and chopping our herbs. We have some beautiful fresh parsley and oregano. With an herb like oregano here, you can just kind of pinch and slide. You want to do a slice. So that front to back or back to front motion is really important. Our next step is going to be peeling and mincing our shallot. Like any onion, it's got a root end and a stem end. Easiest way to peel for me is to trim both those ends. And then perpendicular to that, straight up and down, give it a slice right through the middle. That reveals all these corners and all these layers that run concentrically, and it's real easy to just pull that peel back. And the important bit here, like any knife cut, is just trying to make sure that everything is consistently sized. Okay, so next we're going to zest and juice our lemon. Zesting, we've got a few different ways you can do it. If you go to peachdish.com/citrus, we've got a video that shows you all the different ways that you can do it. Just give it a knock to get all the little bits of zest off the back of the grater. There's a few different ways you can juice a lemon, but usually they have a lot of seed to them. And by the time you've zested, you've softened up the skin quite a bit. So if you roll it back and forth just to break up the pulpy bits and cut just an end off, rather than cutting it in half, you can squeeze it out. Most of the seeds are going to get sort of strained through the pulp of the lemon. Last bit is just to take the spicy greens. We're going to cut or tear into bite-sized pieces. If you don't have the sharpest knife, just go ahead and use your fingers, find the big leaves, tear them into bite-sized pieces just like that. If you do have a nice sharp knife, it goes a lot quicker. Just a few slices at about a 1-inch interval, a couple in the other direction, and there you go. Nice, even bite-sized pieces. So our mise is prepped. We're going to go check on our barley. Okay, so here it's coming up to the boil. You can see that rolling boil starting. We know that we've got plenty of temp going in the pot. I'm going to get it all the way down to low, reduce it to a simmer, and cover it. You do want to keep an eye on it while it's simmering. Barley has a lot of protein and starch in it, and it can start to foam up. So if your heat gets carried away, it could foam up and carry over the top. You just release a little bit of heat from the pan like that. Okay, so our barley's at a simmer. Our mise is all prepped up. Our next step is going to be seasoning this chicken breast. So we've got these beautiful Springer Mountain Farms chicken breasts. I love working with this product. It's very flavorful. Springer Mountain is right here in Georgia, and we know that the chicken's all certified humanely raised. We like all those things. Plus, convenient, all exactly the same size, which means we're gonna get even cook time. Okay, so we're gonna just season with a 1/4 teaspoon of Peach Dish salt here. Put half of it on one side of the chicken breasts. Flip them over. Get half on the other. Okay, so we've got our chicken breasts all seasoned, and we're going to go ahead and sear it in the pan. We've got our nice cast iron here going. We're going to add the chicken breast, and that's exactly what you want to hear. So if you've got the pan at the right temperature, you've got the oil at the right temperature, when you add the food and have it cooking, it should sound like a rain shower on the roof. All right, and then the next key to searing chicken, or anything really, is to leave it alone. That browning only happens on the places where your food is in contact with the pan. So you've got to keep it still in contact for a good long period of time. This one is about 3-4 minutes. And the other thing we're going to look for is that chicken is cooked about halfway to 2/3 of the way up. while we've got that chicken cooking, I'm gonna get ready for the next step, which is pulling it out and letting it rest on the herbs. So I've got all my chopped parsley, chopped oregano. I'm gonna put it in a dish that I can easily cover. Nice even layer. Everybody's always worried about whether their chicken's fully cooked, right? I love this method for searing chicken because you're assured that you're gonna get it cooked all the way through. You get it halfway to 2/3 cooked on the first side, flip it and finish it. But then this is the key. You let it rest. You pull it out of the pan, you cover it and let it rest. What that does is it's called a carryover cook. So you've got all the heat that you've put into the outside of the chicken breast, the outer ring, and you're gonna let that slowly carry into the center. That's gonna give you a juicy, flavorful, really tender chicken breast when it's cooked. It's easy for us to do at Peach Dish because we've got these Springer Mountain Farms chicken breasts that are a nice, consistent thickness and size. So I can give you the exact time and temperature to cook it to end up with that perfect result every time. I'm gonna check on our barley. It's been about 15, 16 minutes since we put it on and got the simmer. It's hot, but we're there, it's fully cooked. I'm gonna go ahead and drain it. Okay, so our chicken breast has been cooking about 2-3 minutes on the first side. We see that it's cooked a little bit more than halfway through. That's that change from translucency to opacity. We also see that a little bit of the liquid is starting to squeeze out of the top. That's a really good indication that it's ready to flip. So I'm just gonna grab it, flip it over, and that's exactly what we're looking for. A nice golden brown on the surface there, just like that. 1 or 2 more minutes on that side, and then we'll pull it out to rest. Okay, so we've gone about 1-2 minutes on the second side. We're good to go. Chicken's mostly cooked through. And then again, this is the key to success here. So we're gonna just transfer this to the bowl that we put all the fresh herbs in. I'm gonna flip them once so that I've got both sides in contact with those herbs, because the other thing that's happening here, aside from the carryover cook that's gonna get that chicken nicely fully cooked and keep it juicy, all that flavor that's in the herbs is gonna be getting drawn into the chicken breast so we get a nice flavorful dish. And then now that chicken's gonna rest about 5 minutes, and while it's resting, we're gonna go ahead and assemble the barley salad. So we're gonna add in all our ingredients for the dressing. We've got shallot, lemon zest, lemon juice, and our olive oil. Gonna add in that cooked barley. Barley's a really great grain. It's a whole grain. It's a variety of wheat, but the thing I love about it is it's a whole grain, but you have this texture like it's pasta. It's got a really, really appealing texture to me. So we're gonna add our greens, mix them around, and now we're gonna add our pecans. Gonna add a little bit more peach dish salt to it. This is a great all-purpose seasoned salt that we developed with our friends over at Beautiful Briny Sea. Really lovely. Okay, that's our finished salad. Our chicken's been resting for about 5 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and slice it, and then we can plate this up and eat. When you're thinly slicing any cooked protein, chicken breast in particular, you wanna try and make sure it's against the grain. What that means is there's natural direction to the fibers and the muscle on that chicken. It's always gonna be the center line going from the thick end to the thin end here and running off at an angle in both ways. So if you start with the pointy end and slice directly across down to the thicker end, you know you're going across the grain. Okay, now we've got it sliced. We're gonna go ahead and plate it up. I'm getting hungry. This smells so good. So I've got our finished seasoned salad here. Lovely pearl barley, pecans, shallot dressing. Get that on there. Get a little bit of height to it. You do that by scoop after scoop right on top and in center. Leave a little space for that chicken. I've got this beautifully sliced Springer Mountain Farms chicken breast. Putting that right there. Okay, and there we have it. That's my herbed chicken breast with pearl barley, pecans, and spicy greens. Really lovely dish, great for early fall. You can find this recipe and more at springermtn.com, and you can also go to peachdish.com, order this on our menu. We've got this and lots of other great kits. Hope you enjoy.